what gets me the most excited is having a season to gear up for. And that's pretty consistent with most of the people I talk to, whether it's high school players or coaches, college players, coaches, pro players, coaches. Just very excited at this point and thankful to have a season to gear up for. I've also talked to some other players or coaches that don't have a season to gear up for this year, and it's sad, but also feel very good that I have a season to gear up for. So chomping at the bit, ready to go, Trevor. Yeah, we feel like just improvement. We need to improve, and that'll lead to success. It'll lead to championships. That's simple. Yeah, well, the first thing that comes to mind with Chase is the incredible work ethic that he has, the great effort that he always plays with. A lot of people talk about the motor that he has, and that's a great analogy. I mean, he's always playing all out, and the talent has really gone up and up each year. Really finding his position, which is defensive end, has been great for his career and for our football team. He was a linebacker, then we could see the speed that he had, and we're playing him in tight end some, and then he went to defensive end. We played some defensive end on the scout team, and really was tough to block. And from that point on, he just developed a love and passion for playing the defensive end position, and he's great at it. I think he'd also be a tremendous stand-up outside backer. I mean, he'd be a true prototype 3-4 outside backer, and a nickel defensive end pass rusher. He'll bring a lot of value, at the next level, pro level, as well as the college level. Really exciting for his season. Praying for all good things to come his way this season, and pulling hard for him. He's a Go Blue guy all the way. Enthusiasm and energy is infectious in a real positive way, productive way for our football team.
We have a partnership with them. Like we're mutually in this together. It's not like one person feels, it's like on one side of the ball feels like, they're getting everything out of it. But yeah, definitely we take part in trying to grow the offensive line to make sure they can handle their business, because it's just a team game. Like you're invested in the offense doing well. Like it's tough to win a football game with an offense that isn't very productive. It's just the nature of the beast. I know it's on the defense. Seen some differences in the offensive line play. I'd say specifically in just like how the kids in general are grasping like the schematics of the protection schemes, and that was a big thing. I think like last year, I think like a big complaint from some of the guys that were like playing last year, from what I gather as a defensive lineman, was that it sometimes was over the top, or they try to implement all this stuff that was may have been too advanced, or just people weren't on the same page. So that disconnect, I think, caused some issues. And I think this year, from what I could tell, just through spring ball, which isn't even as good as it will be, it seemed like guys were picking it up, and they were able to. So when we did implement new defenses and stuff, I felt like they were able to better adapt on the fly than they've been previously in the past.
I always think of Karan and Karan Higdon and Chris Evans, like they're both great. They're both really good players, and that bodes really well for our football team. Both have really come into leadership roles on our team, is the way it's developed over the last 9 months, and that's also a really good team because they've embraced those roles. It's important to them, and it's important to each of them how they play. But it's also, you see them working with the younger backs, and we've got some talented younger backs, and it's nice to see that those guys, Chris Evans in particular, guys and goes over pass protections with them. Always see Karan, putting his arm around a younger back or player and talking to them, motivating them, teaching them. So can't say enough good things about Karan Higdon or Chris Evans, both.
You bulked up a lot this winter. What was your training program like?
It was awesome. Coach Herb and his staff came in and did a great job. They got our attention right away. And what's cool about them is they're the same guys each and every day. They bring that intensity. They bring that demand of having a high expectation and a high drive. And guys bought into that, and there's been a lot of results.
That bowl game loss was tough, but how did it motivate, inspire guys in the winter and those workouts and everything?
I think it just added on to the other 4 losses that we had previous to that. We know that it came down to the last minute. Some guys being out of shape, some guys not being prepared and ready to mentally take on that role. And knowing all those flaws that we had, it only motivated us to achieve that this offseason.
Your Michigan hasn't had that 1,300 yard back in a long time. I mean, for you personally, how much motivation is that for you to, maybe take your game, get over that 1,000-yard mark, and do some of those things?
That's everything. I tasted it. I look at it as like a kid in a candy store. You lick a little lollipop, you like, out some more. I tasted that 1,000-yard mark, and I've played with it, and I want nothing more but to achieve that. And I definitely have a platform to do so, and the respect to do so, and I will do so. And we'll be having this conversation at the end of the season, smiling about how I did something great.
Here, what do you guys see that's different with him behind the closed doors?
He's been more open to the players, asking our perspective on things and asking our opinions, and I think that's been very helpful in the way we've attacked this offseason. He's also brought in great additions from the strength and conditioning staff to the offensive staff, and he's put us in the best position possible to make sure that we're able to achieve the goals we need to do.
After the South Carolina game, was it just forget about last year, or was it, we have to do this, and this to be better and avoid another 5-loss season?
You can't forget about last year because it's your struggles that make your success story so great. So having that lingering taste in our mouth and being able to play with that and utilize that throughout our offseason has only made this offseason that much better.
Karan, when you say that he's taking your input on things or he's asked your opinion on things, what is an example of that wouldn't have happened 2 years ago when you got here? Something that's been beneficial for you.
Yeah, so what do we think about practice? How is practice going? What are things we should do in practice, shouldn't do in practice? What do we like, what do we dislike? Things like that.
Before it was more of this is what you're going to do.
Right.
Don't ask questions. Or maybe did guys feel like they couldn't ask questions? Is that part of it?
That could be a part. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of guys who felt like they couldn't approach him or ask questions. And he had a point to prove. And obviously he's done it at a great level, high level. And I think that's one of the great things about this offseason. We've seen him take a step back off that pedestal and say, hey, this is a team. Let's work together on this.
It was very valuable. Shea Patterson went through all of spring practice with our team and got great work in there. Played really well. Brandon Peters was also improved this spring. Dylan McCaffrey probably had made the most improvement of any quarterback on our roster. Joe Milton came in and was a mid-year, so participated in spring practice as well and did very well. I think he's got a very, very bright future. And Michael Sessa has done a fantastic job. Buck West moved over from safety and receiver. Now he's going to play both quarterback and receiver, and that's been our quarterback room. And I would say overall it's better as a group than where we were last year. And I feel like our starting quarterback, will also be better, play better.